This is not about wishful thinking. This is not about chasing power. This is about becoming the kind of man that power follows naturally because you've trained your mind to lead it. He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. Lao Tzu. In today's world, most men are overwhelmed, reactive, and unsure of their direction. Their minds are untrained, scattered by distraction, and easily manipulated. But there's another kind of man, a man who doesn't seek control because he already possesses it within himself. He understands that the mind is the original battlefield, and when he sharpens it, everything else falls into place. His energy shifts, his posture changes, people start treating him differently. That's when you realize power doesn't come from noise, it comes from inner silence, sharpened by discipline. This video is divided into 4 powerful chapters, each one designed to help you reshape the way you think, act, and influence the world around you. You'll gain emotional strength, develop mental sharpness, and discover how real presence is built, not from ego, but from inner structure. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, this video is for you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to help grow this message. Your support helps this reach more men who are ready to unlock their potential. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The battle begins within. Mastering mental discipline. Your mind is your instrument. Learn to master it, or it will master you. Unknown. Every man wants power, but most don't realize where the real battle begins. Inside their own mind. Not in the gym, not in the office, not on social media. Power starts with how you think, what you focus on, and how you train your thoughts when no one is watching. Let's be honest, in today's world, distractions are weapons. Your phone buzzes, your mind drifts. You start comparing, procrastinating, doubting. That's how most men live, in a fog of mental noise. They're physically present but mentally weak. But you're not here to live like most men. Mental discipline means building a fortress inside your head, a place where focus lives, where self-control reigns, and where emotional chaos dies. It's the ability to say no to what's easy and yes to what's necessary, even when your feelings resist it. The invisible training ground. No one sees the hours you spend saying no to distractions, waking up early when your body screams to sleep, or sticking to your goals when motivation fades. But these are the invisible battles that build inner gravity, the kind of presence people feel without understanding why. Take this simple example. 2 men walk into a room. One has spent the past month scrolling endlessly, skipping workouts and letting life push him around. The other has trained, not just physically but mentally. He's been waking up early, sharpening his purpose, journaling his thoughts, cutting toxic habits. Guess who people are drawn to? It's not luck, it's not looks, it's not charm, it's trained energy. Discipline equals freedom. Jocko Willink, the man who owns his mind, doesn't panic under pressure. He doesn't overreact, he doesn't seek approval. Why? Because he's already faced himself and won. That's the real beginning of power. Daily mental rituals that forge power. Let's make this practical. You don't need a mountain retreat to build mental discipline. You need daily reps, simple but sacred routines that condition your mind like a warrior. Here are 3 that work. 1. Morning stillness. Before the world touches your mind, sit in silence. 10 minutes, just you and your breath. Don't reach for your phone, reach for your focus. 2. Deliberate discomfort. Each day, do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. Cold shower, hard workout, difficult conversation. This rewires your brain to handle stress like a weapon, not a weakness. 3. Nightly review. Before bed, write down what you did well and what needs improvement. This teaches your mind to reflect, not repeat. These aren't just habits, they're acts of war. Against mediocrity, against distraction, against the soft mind that keeps you small. The Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, all trained their minds like warriors. Not to escape life's challenges, but to meet them with strength and clarity. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, they knew the truth. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. A man who hasn't trained his mind will always be controlled by his environment. But the man who has, he can lose everything and still walk forward with peace. That's not fantasy. That's earned internal power. Why this matters, now more than ever. We live in a time when everything is trying to pull you away from yourself. Attention is currency, and companies are cashing in on your focus. If you don't guard your mind, someone else will use it for their agenda. That's why training your mind is not optional. It's survival, it's leadership, it's freedom. Because once your mind is under your control, the rest of life starts to align. People feel your energy. Opportunities follow your clarity. Respect follows your restraint. And power, it doesn't need to be chased anymore. It starts chasing you. Drop a comment below. What's one mental habit you're ready to master? Chapter 2, Emotional Control, is the gateway to power. The strongest man is not the one who lifts the most weight, but the one who stays calm in chaos. You can train your body and sharpen your mind, but if your emotions control you, you'll never be truly powerful. Emotional control is not about suppressing feelings. It's about mastering them, understanding them, and using them as tools, not weapons against yourself. A man without emotional control is like a car with no brakes, fast, loud, and dangerous, but eventually crashing. Anger, insecurity, jealousy, pride. If left unchecked, they'll sabotage everything you build. But the man who controls his emotions can walk into a storm and remain unmoved. Why emotional control builds authority? Think about the men you naturally respect. They're not the loudest. They don't explode at every insult. They don't beg for validation. What makes them powerful is that they don't react like the average man. They respond with calm awareness. He who angers you conquers you. Elizabeth Kenny. It's true. If someone can easily provoke you, they own you. But when you control your emotions, you take back your authority. And others can feel that. People listen more closely, women feel safer, enemies feel weaker, because they realize they can't move you. Imagine this. Two men are being publicly insulted in a meeting. One snaps back, gets defensive, raises his voice. The other calmly listens, nods, then responds with clarity and composure. Who do you think walks out with more respect? The man who didn't flinch. Because emotional control communicates leadership, self-respect, and inner strength. It shows you don't need to win every argument because you've already won the war within yourself. Master your triggers. Every man has triggers. Disrespect, rejection, failure, shame. And the world will keep testing those triggers until you decide to face them. Here's how. 1. Notice the pattern. Next time you react emotionally, pause. Ask, what am I really feeling beneath the surface? Often it's not anger. It's fear, embarrassment, or pride. 2. Create the gap. When you feel a surge of emotion, wait before responding. Count to 5. Breathe. This small delay creates massive power. 3. Reframe the moment. Don't say, why is this happening to me? Say, what is this teaching me? That question alone shifts you from victim to warrior. Emotional intelligence doesn't make you soft. It makes you dangerous in the best way, because you become unpredictable to those who rely on your reactions. In ancient Japan, the samurai were trained to be emotionally still before ever touching a sword. Why? Because they knew a man who couldn't control his inner fire would burn everything around him, even his own life. To hold back anger is not weakness. It is strength under control. Samurai proverb. This is the essence of masculine energy. Still, focused, grounded, not chaotic, not impulsive, not ruled by feelings. A man who trains his emotional center walks into every situation already centered. He doesn't get pulled by mood swings or other people's chaos. He becomes the calm in the storm. Emotional control and masculine attraction. Let's talk truth. Emotional control is magnetic. It's one of the rarest traits in modern men, and women feel it on a deep, primal level. When you stay grounded in high-pressure moments, it signals to her that you are safe, stable, and strong, not just physically, but internally. And that's the kind of man who commands not just attention, but long-term respect. On the flip side, if you're easily rattled, moody, or reactive, she may admire your charm, but she won't trust your leadership. Becoming the eye of the storm. The world isn't going to become easier or more peaceful. People will still betray, insult, disappoint. Challenges will come. But when you become the kind of man who can face all of it with calm focus and emotional strength, you no longer just live through life. You lead through it. Your calm becomes your power. Your restraint becomes your reputation. And your mind becomes your kingdom, no longer ruled by impulse, but by wisdom. Drop a comment below. What emotion do you need to master, to level up as a man? Chapter 3. Build inner value, the magnet of real power. Don't chase people. Become so valuable they chase you. There's a reason most men feel like they're always chasing. Chasing respect, validation, attention, success. It's because they've been trained to focus on external status before building internal value. But here's the truth that separates men who attract power from those who beg for it. Power follows value, not noise, not appearance, not ego. Value. When you become valuable, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, people naturally want to be around you. Opportunities knock. Respect is offered. Not because you demanded it, but because your presence earns it. The currency of the modern world. In today's world, attention is the currency, but attention alone isn't power, it's cheap. You can buy it, fake it, manipulate it. But real power, that's earned from what you bring to the table. Ask yourself, what do I offer emotionally? What knowledge or skills am I mastering? Who am I becoming when no one is watching? Men of high value ask these questions daily because they know that what's built inside eventually shows outside. When you become the best version of yourself, you naturally attract the best situations, the best people, and the best energy. Picture this. A man spends 3 years quietly mastering his craft, reading, learning, working out, building his character and discipline behind the scenes. Another man spends the same time showing off, posting on social media, chasing validation. Fast forward, one is respected and sought after, the other is forgotten as soon as the next trend fades. Why? Because people feel value even when they can't explain it. Quiet confidence, purpose, depth. That's the magnetic field of a man who has trained from within. How to build inner value. 1. Master one thing deeply. Don't try to be good at everything. Focus, study, learn. Whether it's a business skill, a craft, your body, or your spiritual practice, depth creates distinction. 2. Create more than you consume. Most men scroll, watch, and consume endlessly. Flip that. Build something. Write, speak, teach, train. Even if it's small, creation makes you rare. 3. Live by principles, not feelings. Your value skyrockets when people know where you stand. Don't bend to every opinion. Speak with clarity. Live with honor. When you operate from principles, your presence becomes rooted. 4. Invest in your silence. Real power doesn't scream, it whispers. Silence is where ideas form. Vision sharpens and identity strengthens. Spend time in solitude. It's the forge of self-worth. When you know your worth, you stop negotiating with mediocrity. You stop tolerating weak energy. You stop explaining your value. You just become it. And that's when life starts responding differently. In ancient Greece, the Oracle of Delphi held a famous inscription, "Know thyself." It wasn't just philosophical, it was practical, because when you understand who you are and what you bring, you stop reaching for permission to exist. You don't need applause, you don't need likes. You walk with quiet certainty because you've built a foundation no one else can see, but everyone can feel. And in that silence, power starts chasing you, from scarcity to abundance. Here's the shift. Weak men operate from scarcity. I need this job. I need this woman. I need to prove myself. Strong men operate from abundance. I am the value. I don't need it. I choose it. I bring something no one else does. That's not arrogance, that's awareness. And when your life is aligned with growth, contribution, and self-respect, you become the magnet. People try to understand your calm. Women are drawn to your presence. Opportunities are attracted to your decisiveness, because power doesn't follow the loudest man, it follows the most internally valuable one. Drop a comment below, Was. What are you doing today to build your inner value? Chapter 4. Move with purpose. Let the world feel your energy. When you walk with purpose, you collide with destiny. Bertice Berry. Power doesn't follow a man who wanders. It follows the man who walks like he knows exactly where he's going, even if the road ahead isn't fully clear yet. This is the final key: purpose. Purpose gives direction to your discipline, control to your emotions, and value to your existence. It makes you magnetic. Not because you're trying to be, but because people can feel that you're going somewhere meaningful, and most people aren't. Why most men feel lost? Let's be real. A lot of men are drifting, working jobs they hate, living in relationships that drain them, spending time on things that don't grow them. And the worst part? They know it, but they stay. Why? Because they've forgotten that movement alone isn't power. Only movement with direction creates impact. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Friedrich Nietzsche. When a man doesn't know his why, he becomes vulnerable to everything: distractions, manipulation, emotional breakdowns. But once he reconnects to his purpose, he becomes focused like a laser. People can sense it in the way he talks, walks, and makes decisions. Find it, then own it. Here's the truth. Your purpose won't always come from inspiration. Sometimes it's born from pain, from failure, from hitting rock bottom and realizing, I can't live like this anymore. So don't wait to feel ready. Start with what breaks your heart or fires your soul. That's where purpose usually hides. Ask yourself, what do I hate seeing in the world? What do I feel uniquely called to do, say, or build? Where have I suffered, and how can I turn that into strength? Then, start small, but start. Purpose isn't found, it's built through aligned action. A man wakes up and decides he's done playing small. He starts learning a new trade, hitting the gym, improving his mindset. He loses friends, his routine changes, his priorities shift. People ask, what happened to you? He doesn't explain, he just smiles eyed because his life is now moving with purpose. And deep down they respect it. That's the quiet dominance of a man on a mission. He doesn't need to convince anyone. His life becomes the proof. The ancient Spartans trained not just to fight, but to live with intention. Every movement had meaning, every day had direction. They didn't wait for comfort or certainty. They acted with resolve, because hesitation was a luxury they couldn't afford. Spartans do not ask how many are the enemy, but where they are. Purpose kills hesitation. When you know what you're moving toward, fear loses its grip. You stop second-guessing, you stop chasing, you start attracting, because the world bends to the man who moves with clarity. Let your energy speak first. You've probably heard it before, energy doesn't lie, and that's true. But energy isn't something you fake, it's something you earn. It's the result of inner discipline, emotional control, self-built value, and relentless purpose. When you've done the inner work, you don't have to say much. You walk in silence and people listen. You speak calmly and people follow. You decide quickly and life begins to align with you. Not because you're louder, but because you're clearer. And that's when power becomes effortless. It follows you naturally. Not because you sought it, but because you became the man worthy of it. Drop a comment below. Tidul, what purpose are you choosing to live for starting today? If you've made it this far, remember, you're not just watching a video, you're sharpening your mindset, forging your identity, and building a life that commands respect without words. Train your mind until discipline is your baseline. Master your emotions until chaos becomes your classroom. Build value until the world recognizes your presence. And move with purpose until your footsteps echo with meaning. Power will follow, but only when you stop chasing and start becoming. If this video spoke to you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Your words may be the push another man needs today. Until next time, stay sharp, stay grounded, and never stop training your mind.